kind of glowy. And then I used my little ball tool, and I made a paper clip and bent it so that I could grab onto the light a little bit easier. So now he's glowy. And I went ahead and put glow-in-the-dark paint on his teeth. And yes, I needed a little bit of help, but this is dry now. I used hot glue to hold the lights in the eyes. And now I'm going to do a light wash. I'm going to use some light gray and try to get the skull a little bit more roughed up a little bit before I place him on our tray. So we will see how it works. Alright, so I just put some water and a little bit of gray paint right here. And I'm just going to start wiping him down a little bit and give him a nice little coat here. Just to rough him up a little bit, because we don't want him looking too clean. If it looks too clean, it ain't gonna look right. Now, I don't want to get the eyes because I'm actually going to paint the eyes black and go back in and paint the nose black. And then I'm thinking about going over it with some glow in the dark so that we can really make him look cool. Now, because I'm doing this so lightly and I don't really want it to look exactly like that, I'm just going to take and wipe it down a little bit. Kind of try to rough him out a little. And I'm trying to be careful not to get the teeth since I already did that. Alright. And you notice I just hot glued the cords in there. And this is actually extremely see-through. See the lights, you can actually see the light coming through some of the skull. So I'm hoping that with the paint and everything, we can kind of change that a little bit. Added a tinge of black to the gray because that's just a little bit too light for what I was going for. And you notice I'm not scared to get my hands dirty. They're filthy. Alright. So, see, now he's looking a little bit more worn. Get him wiped down real good and kind of add some to the back just in case. Because I don't know what's all going to show once we put it on there. I'm just going to try to touch these cracks up some so that it's... I make sure the light doesn't come in very well right there. Now, this little skull I actually found at Walmart. So, in case you're interested in that, it was at Walmart. I think it was like $1.34 or something. Real cheap. And then I found the string lights at the Dollar Tree. So, that was a pretty cool looking thing. And then now I've got me a light up skeleton head. Skull. Alright. A little bit more water to that to kind of really spread it there. I think it's neat that the mouth actually goes yum, 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 yum. Alright, so he's kind of nice and worn now, and he's looking pretty neat there. Alright, so now I'm going to take a little bit of nutmeg brown. Just a little bit. And then I'm just going to take a dry brush and then put a lot of water on it and just a tinge of brown, and then I'm going to go around and touch these little cracks in his head. Just a little bit to kind of dirty him up a little more. And I'm going to get the wash and do it again. Alright, so I think that's good enough. I mean, I don't really care too much on how it's doing. So, and he looks pretty cool. Alright. So now, yeah, it helped a little bit on the see-through part, not so much up there, but I mean, hey, still not bad. Alright, so now, sorry, I gotta get comfortable here. Alright, now I got a little smaller brush, And I'm just going to touch this nose up because I really don't want it looking so white. It came a little bit brownish, you see. It kind of looks like some like rotten flesh or something. Looks pretty neat, but I kind of want it to stand out a little bit more. So and then after I do this, all I did was put hot glue in the eyes. And after I do that, after I paint it black, I'm going to go over it with some glow-in-the-dark paint. So that way, even when the lights are not on, you can still kind of see the glowing at night. And I think it'll give it a little bit of extra character. Just got to be real careful and not get that little light bulb there. I think he's actually starting to look a little bit better. Alright, so there we go. Gave his eyes a little bit more definition with the black. And let's see how that looks with the lights on. Oh yeah, he's looking awesome. Alright. So now I'm going to take my itty bitty brush go, this one's good. Alright, so I'm going to take my little brush and I think I'm going to go through and show that his teeth are actually separated. Nah. Nah. No, we're not. I lied. Alright, I'm just going to take the little brush and do the rest of the touch-ups in the eyes and around the nose. And I am going to go up underneath and paint him a black right there, so it's like the inside of his mouth. Then I'm probably going to have to do another coat of the glow-in-the-dark because you do have to do several coats of glow-in-the-dark depending on how much you want it to light up, and I like it light. So I like it to really, really glow, so we put extra on there. Alright, so that should be all that actually shows pretty much, but I'm going to put a little bit more just to make sure, because I really don't want that showing through while I'm trying to do other stuff. Maybe it'll help it make it a little bit more where it's not so see-through, at least for that part. Alright. There we go. Kind of shadow it a little bit. Alright. I'm actually pretty happy with this skull. Alright. Alright, before I put the skull and the spider on, I was actually looking off camera at this, and I decided I don't want to do this for the bottom, even though with the black that would look pretty freaking neat. Yeah, I know y'all see me pondering over here. So I found this garland at Dollar Tree. And I thought it would look pretty neat. Because I don't really want all this showing down here. So I think I'm actually going to do it like this. There we go. And then I can just dab a little hot glue on there so it stays in place. And then, well, if I can get it to stay. It doesn't want to stay. Alright, I'm just going to hold that there for a minute. Still not staying there. Oh, stuck my finger though. Okay, well, my stupid noodle come off. The other ones are nice and hefty, but when I was spray painting, I accidentally bumped this one, so maybe that's why it didn't stay. So I'm just going to throw some more hot glue on this thing and see if we can't really make this thing stick for real where it don't come off anymore.
My name is Senior Jack. Come to my channel. I will love you forever.
That's my husband, everyone. And he also does crafts. He does polymer clay mostly. And right now he is working on a special little present for me. And if you're Jack Skeleton lovers, then y'all should really go check him out. Gimano, or Gimano's Crew. And he also has a whole bunch of other little awesome creations.
Right now I'm baking 0. Ooh, I don't know. Come on, right here, Bubby.
Just touching up down here to where the pool noodle come off, so we can't tell. Alright, so that's looking pretty nice.
You ever seen a skeleton give someone a kiss? Oh, I like kisses. Mwah. Come to me.
Go away.
Come on, that's funny, you know.
Yeah, that's one word for it. Alright, so we got that back up, and I think that the garland actually did a pretty good job hiding the parts that I really didn't want to be seen, because I was going to cover that with the little lace stuff, but it didn't exactly work. So, Mr. Skeleton is going to go right there.
Just send it to them. Send it done on the corner. Like, nah. Give me the keys. Okay, you show them how to do it.
Yep. No, stay! Damn it. Alright. More hot glue. Alright.
Oh, by the way, so you don't get carried away by the corner. So that actually runs. Because you can't get cut. Anybody can come back.
Now, there are similar things like this on YouTube I've seen, but I kind of just wanted to see what I could do. With some of this stuff.
We don't still hear. Credits to everybody who's here and did this before.
Really. Alright. Maybe it'll stay now.
Except my crazy ass. That's you know, not crazy ass.
Alright. I'm actually going to glue the battery pack back behind the candles. So that way it can look kind of like that. I think it's actually starting to look pretty cool. Alright. Now, let's go glue crazy on the skull.
Oh, you got rid of my phone. That's fine, I got another.
See, she wants to blow me down, but there are plenty of us. You will never get rid of me. Ah!
Okay. Well, it's sticking to the freaking garland.
She told me he has 7 brothers, so they got plenty of commentary for the goofy guy. So, there's plenty of me to mess with skull heads. Unfortunately, I don't do that on my own. How come I'm acting goofy on your birthday?
I think my hot glue gun is not liking me right now.
Not when you're cooking up with my food. It said you pollute me too much.
Those stupid noodles making me mad too, man. It's just that one.
Super glue.
I don't like super glue. I've got it all over my fingers. Alright, so off camera I had to add a whole bunch more hot glue because of the way the bottom of the skull is angled. And then I went around and put some tacky glue, which is very visible right now, but it is not going to be a big deal. Alright, so now I want to put my little creepy spider. And thinking I'm angling this way so he's more like aimed towards outwards of it. But I want to make sure that all of his legs go onto the plate as much as possible. But I think it'll be just fine right there, even though he's not really touching. There we go. Right there's good. Alright, so now I'm just going to take the hot glue gun and put the spider on. And I go crazy with glue. Like, I use so much glue that nothing should ever be able to come apart. But unfortunately, it does not always work that way. And sometimes it still comes apart, no matter what I do. I'm just kind of using the glue to hold the legs down, even though they're not actually going to stay if I do hold them down like crazy. They just pop back up. And then I'm just going to paint over the spots where the hot glue gun, or the hot glue went. And some of this can look like webs. But It's actually starting to turn out really nice looking. Kind of looks like he's got shoes on. All right. Plenty of glue everywhere. Alright, so that's looking pretty awesome. Now, I got these little mini pumpkins, little foam glitter pumpkins, and I was just going to throw a couple, you know, in there to decorate it up a little. I've got so much freaking glue, it's insane. I just had a glue stick right here. I swear I did. Oh, right there. Told you I use enough glue, it should never freaking come off. Like, for real. And I'm just going to put a couple over here by the base of the wine glass, or our little goblet. I have one more pumpkin over here behind the spider's butt. There we go. Gives a little bit more color.